Hey everybody, Jillian here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a brand new Bible journaling process video for you today, and I'm going to be using the Fruit of the Spirit collection from Illustrated Faith for today's entry in Mark. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about inspiration. I don't know about you, but sometimes I see colors put together in an interesting way, and it really inspires me to create something. So I've kind of had this color palette rolling around in the back of my mind for a while. And I happened to see these 4 brush pens laying together on my desk. I had used them for multiple projects, not together, but somehow they ended up grouped together. And I was like, wow, I really like the way that these colors go together. So I took a picture of it on my phone in the moment and decided to create an entry inspired by these colors. So then what I did was I looked through my stash to see what I had that would go with these colors here. And I landed on the Fruit of the Spirit collection. So I've got a piece of patterned paper over here that kind of matches this phthalo green, this is light green, this is light flesh, and this is middle purple pink. And I'll go ahead and have all of the colors listed and linked below in the video description if you want to check them out. I may not use all of these colors in marker form on the page, but I'm going to try to incorporate it from the those colors from the kit on today's page. So I really have no idea what I'm going to do. I know that I want to talk about love, and that's pretty much it. So let's find out where this is going to go together, shall we? Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is go through the paper pieces, or the die-cut paper pieces from the Fruit of the Spirit collection. So I'm going to look for things that are relatively the same color as the markers. So there, that word love, I knew I wanted to pull that out. It kind of matches that light pink marker. The patterned paper, like I said, kind of matches that like aqua colored marker. This phrase that says, with his help, I love it. And that kind of goes with the middle purple pink marker. And then I really loved this olive green. That is a bit darker than the light green brush pen, but I'm going to make it work. So now that I have an idea of what I want to use on the page, I'm going to go ahead and get started making it. So I decided to have this patterned paper on the top corner of my journaling page. I was super inspired by Elaine Davis. I love the way that she incorporates patterned paper onto her Bible journaling entries, and I've seen her do this in a similar way. I just tore it randomly. I kind of lined it up where I wanted it to go and then made a little, I guess it's not very random at all, and then I made like a little teeny tiny tear at the angle that I wanted to start tearing it, and then turned it over and tore it. I turned it over because I really like that white rough edge, and I think you only get that on the piece that is going to show if you flip it over and tear it from the back side instead of tearing it from the front side. So I want to layer a bunch of stuff right where the patterned paper ends. So I'm going to take the love die cut and that pear die cut and layer them in that area with the Fruit of the Spirit stamps. And I'm going to stamp this little adorable strawberry stamp in 2, 3, 4 places on the page. Decided to use my Bible mat washi taped in place to help me get a nice crisp stamp image. And I dropped it on the adjacent page, but it's no big deal. I'm going to roll with it and maybe incorporate it into the next page if I decide to do an entry in Mark 13. So I decided to just go ahead and instead of using an ink pad, just to color the background of the strawberry with the middle purple pink Faber-Castell brush pen. So that's how I incorporated that color onto this page. And then I'm just going to use the Illustrated Faith tape runner to layer the things on top of the Bible page. And then I love these little crosses that were included with the paper pieces. This is the last one that I have left, and I'm going to go ahead and use it here to finish off this little cluster. And then you'll see me make 2 more clusters on the page as I work through it. So the verse that I'm journaling today is Mark 12 verses 30 and 31, and Jesus says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this, love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these." So I'm talking about more of the love your neighbor as yourself part in verse 31 here. Of course, the fruits of the Spirit come from that passage in Galatians 5. Love is the first one. That's why I decided to go ahead and start with this. I'm going to use the Illustrated Faith highlighter washi in a way that Shauna Noel uses it to highlight my verse here. I thought about using the brush pen to highlight it, but wanted to not do that, so I didn't. And I'm just going to create a little like open box around that passage and then leave it at that, but I will change the colors here in a moment. So I had done a Bible study about a year ago where I really looked into the fruits of the Spirit. I looked up using the Blue Letter Bible resource online, blueletterbible.com I think it is, the original words in Greek for each and the definition for each of the fruits listed in Galatians 5, fruits of the Spirit, not of the flesh. And really had fun doing that, but I never Bible journaled it, so I thought this was just a great opportunity to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to call it a series and say that I'm going to do each fruit of the Spirit on camera, but I really had fun making this one, so who knows. So the second cluster that I'm starting is above the verse, so I used one of the cardstock stickers from the 6x12 cardstock sticker sheet, and then I stamped this really cute asterisk next to it, and then I used that phthalo green brush pen just to create some marks there to bring that aqua color over to the right. I decided to use this quote that I had come across when I was preparing for this study. It's from Charles Stanley, and it says, "God desires to show his perfect and selfless love to a world that is routinely confused about what true love is. As children of God, we are conduits of his love, empowered by his Holy Spirit." And I just really loved that and thought it went well with what I wanted to kind of think about as I was journaling this verse. So the word that I learned, I'm going to geek out here for a minute. The word in Galatians 5 for love is agape. The word here where it says love your neighbor as yourself in Mark 12:31 is agapeo, and agapeo is actually, I believe, I don't speak Greek, I just learned this on Blue Letter Bible. Agapeo is the root word for agape, so I just wanted to note that here and ended up writing out the Greek word above that little cluster with the highlighter washi. So I decided to stamp another little strawberry cluster here down at the bottom. I'm only going to color one pink, and then the other one I'm going to use the light green brush pen. No, I'm sorry, I used May green. I wanted to find a more olive color, and that's why I pulled out all of those other green brush pens. I wanted to use a more olive color, but I didn't have one, so I just decided to use the May green brush pen to create the top of the strawberry on that stamped image. And then it still had a little bit of empty space around the page, so I decided to fill that in with some black watercolor paint splatters. And that's gonna do it. I've got a final look at my page here along with a couple close-ups. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment below. I've got all of the products I used linked in the video description below if you want to check them out. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.